Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of What the Haul. It is the tail end of another month, never on schedule, but always on time. And we need to do the new ins for the month of September. Let's go, let's go, let's go. When I was trying to do this as a podcast, I always used to come on here and say, how are you? I hope you're doing well, because I'm doing not great, but okay. I'm alive, I'm healthy. In this episode, we're going to do the September new in for skincare. Immediately after this, I'm recording the October episode, which will go out in a week or so. I might even do a Sephora, like some things that I want to call to your attention if you're going to be shopping during the VIB sale. Also, something that I used to do in the past that I haven't done in a minute is I have some baking recommendations. I'm late to this one. On TikTok, I think it's trending high protein bagels. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. You do cottage cheese and flour. It's equally as good as a store-bought bagel. I like to have an everything bagel with some cheddar and tomato, midday lunch situation, keeps you going for several hours. Got my notes. Before we get into the things that I actually tried out, some honorable mentions. Filorga is coming out with some new cleansing products. Everything caps at about $40 Canadian. Currently, the cleansing oil is the only thing that's available, but you'll see it. There's an exfoliant, there's a gel, high quality ingredients. Filorga is very much Murad Dermalogica vibes. Their product is also on Amazon Canada as well. There's a new Embryolisse. Every time there's a new one, I have to call it out. This one now claims to have a retinol-like effect, is the subheading. That's the thing with lait concentrate, right? It's a moderately priced moisturizer. It's a massive tube, does multiple things. You can use it as a cleanser, a moisturizer. It's like Pond's cold cream. Last month, I put out a video for the Clarins Double Serum, and one of the big competitors, Lancôme, has come out with the Génifique Ultimate. I know for sure it's in Europe. I know for sure that it's in some parts of Asia. I don't have a date or any information about when it's going to be available in Canada. Or when I was going through the ingredient deck, it has alpha glucan, beta glucan, which I believe is from wheat. It's also alcohol free now, which was always a little gripe that I had with the Génifique serum. And now it's also refillable. Interesting thing that I clocked with this launch, I'm seeing men in the marketing, which I've never seen at Lancôme. Back when I was on counter, they used to have Lancôme for men as a skincare collection. Hypnos had Clive Owen as the face of the fragrance. The Gen Z and the millennial men, we're secure. Aside from shaving, we don't necessarily need to have products that are just for us. And I think it's smart for them to want to engage with the male customer. I suspect that they might be phasing out the tonique confort. I feel like it's a hero at Lancôme. They've updated the look of Hydrozen, which is the pink moisturizers for sensitive skin. They've added the tonique confort as part of that franchise. If you assess it, the ingredients are very different. It's got a much shorter list. Sometimes these brands aren't just updating the formulations because they found innovations or they found better quality ingredients or they want to make recyclable packaging. I suspect this might be a cost-cutting measure. This is some skincare tinfoil hat stuff, but it's just a hunch that I have. If you are that person who buys Tonique Comfort, keep your eyes on it. This is another one that I'm late to, is Dr. Dennis came out with the Derm Infusion Moisturizer. Derm Infusions is one of their best serums. If you've used that serum, absolutely get the moisturizer. Now, in terms of products that I actually did interact with, at Murad, they've launched the multivitamin clear coat SPF 50. If it's true and if it's from you, then it will be new. We're going to file this into that category because this came out at the end of spring, possibly the early summer in the States. And because of our regulations in Canada, only noticed it recently. So I wouldn't be surprised if this just launched a month or two ago. It's a silicone gel that has the high SPF factor. And because it's part of that environmental shield collection, it's all vitamin C antioxidant skincare. I love these silicone textures. I would rate Smashbox primer as the worst, the Hourglass primer, or my beloved Kate Somerville Quench Serum as the best. It's that sort of really hydrating, slightly oily silicone serum. Those are the best ones in my eyes. This is somewhere in the middle. It's just smooth. Murad, always a winner in my eyes. This is another one that I tried out. This is a deluxe sample I got with an order. This is the Glow Recipe. They're blackberry retinol. It's interesting because they've actually marketed this as a anti-blemish product, which speaks to how we even arrived at retinol, right? Retin-A used to be the anti-acne prescription. Fashion with Glow Recipe. It's pretty foolproof. The textures are always very good. Typical Glow Recipe Fashion, it has a very strong fruity fragrance, which isn't my wheelhouse, but the brand is solid. This one has 3 types of retinol. In the copy is what it says. It's got ectoin, aloe vera, and again, much like that Murad SPF, a reasonable price. I know the Roche-Posay is really popular online, but I just never really liked the brand. One year when it was back to school time, I made the trip to the Eaton Center so I can go to Hollister. I went to the beauty boutique on the ground level by the subway exit, and I bought an Effaclar set. I didn't have acne and I didn't have oily skin, but you know, I'm young and I'm stupid. And it wasn't even so much that the product wasn't for me. There's something about La Roche-Posay that just doesn't agree with me. With one exception, I will say that the Chicoplast collection of products is very good. The balm, the lip, the hand, all around heavy hitters. I just realized, you know, La Roche has a huge offering in terms of serums. They have this new collection that's called Mela B3. It's an update to an old serum. They've got a cleanser with this one. There's a SPF 30 that's available in certain markets. It may launch in Canada. Don't know as yet. In typical La Roche-Posay fashion, it's supposed to be hypoallergenic. It's packed with B3. It's got a complex of different sort of anti-pigment ingredients that L'Oreal formulated exclusively for these products. You can absolutely just pick up the serum and it might work for you. Definitely do the whole protocol because you're able to get that 360, that holistic approach to tackling your pigmentation. But we'll start with the cleanser. I found it to be too foamy, too drying. I'm currently using a gel from Nooks, which is very mild. It foams, but it's a lot finer, whereas this La Roche-Posay, it produces lots of bubbles and it feels a little too tight for my taste. And then the serum, again, it's that scent that I cannot stomach. I find it too overwhelming. And I say this as somebody who does like fragrance in his skincare, but this is just too strong. The texture is fine. It goes on, it absorbs quickly. The pipette's kind of strange because it only stops about halfway. I also take issue with the price point of La Roche-Posay. You can buy the product on sale. There's always offers somewhere. But, you know, for $70, I feel like I could go to a more upmarket store, or I could spend even less and go into like the aisles where they have the Naturium and the Versed and all these other brands selling $20 serums and have a better experience versus buying this La Roche-Posay. I think you could absolutely find better. I also should bring up that if you are trying to deal with some pigmentation left over from acne scars, I just found something in the pharmacy that I think you should look out for. These Panoxyl PM patches. I found these on offer on Amazon for about $10 last time. It's got transexamic, B3, and vitamin C. So you can see they're absolutely massive. If it's just one pimple that you're trying to tackle and it's not overall pigmentation, rather than buying a whole serum, you can spend $10 on something like this. You know, I was complaining about the prices of La Roche-Posay. Well, we're going to talk about Sublimage to close out this video. If you don't know, Sublimage is Chanel's top of the top skincare. It's for a very specific person. It may not slot into your budget. You know, if you have it, let's talk about the newness. There is 4 products which they call Les Extracts, a serum, a moisturizer, and they've added on the essence and a pomade. The treatment lotion is the 4th essence that they have as part of Sublimage. This one, it's a gel and it has droplets, which I believe are almost like an oil. I tried the Abie essence earlier in the year, which I had a terrible reaction to. I found that one way too fragrant. It was a very light, very fresh texture. This one from Chanel is a little bit more closer to a gel, and it's deeply moisturizing. It definitely has that hydration built into it, but it's not as greasy as, say, the Revive essence, which again, another product that I tried earlier this year. That one was really emollient. And unlike the Guerlain essences, Chanel skincare broadly has really light, very pleasant scents. It's a very soft, subtle vanilla perfume. Now, the real like mind-blowing product in this collection is this new Pommade d'Or. It is in fact a solid balm. It's not waxy, but it's very firm to the touch. It's very much like a La Mer sort of scenario where you scoop a very tiny amount of product and you're meant to warm it up between your fingers before putting it on the skin. When I put it directly onto my skin and massaged it, I didn't experience that transformation. There's supposed to be a texture shift. It has this nice sort of smooth, velvety, slight matte sort of finish to it. And the idea is that you would do the lotion, your serum, your cream, and then use this pomade as a sealant before you would go onto makeup. It has like a very noticeable gold color to it because it does enhance and make your complexion look more luminous, more radiant. But here's where I take issue with this product. It's not even the price. I feel like anyone who spends this sort of money on skincare, you're signed up, you're into it, but I wish they incorporated gold, because there are lots of products that are similar to this, where I think of Chantecaille have a full 24K collection, CDP has a gold mask, La Prairie has a gold collection. But how is it that these other brands are charging prices that are just as eye-watering, but Chanel isn't even putting gold into this product? Even Peter Thomas Roth make a gold mask that comes in that drum and it's like 100 and change. I think that's a real disservice to their customers. That said, if you are a Sublimage person, you will like this because it is really beautiful if you can afford it. So that's that. That's the roundup for this month. If you have any questions, if you bought any of these, I'd like to hear from you down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, however this moved you. Thank you for listening. Thank me for speaking, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.